Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique. For all of the new people here, I am thrilled to have you as part of my community. So today we are talking about relaxer don'ts, all of those bad things that we do to our relaxed hair that ultimately lead to dryness and dullness and breakage. So before we get started, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you don't miss any of my videos. Number one is heading into a relaxer treatment with Tangled Hair. What I like to do before relaxer day is thoroughly detangle my hair because that will just help the relaxer process go faster. You don't want to keep relaxer on your hair for too long because that could lead to over-processing, which is really damaging to your hair. So number two is working out the day of a relaxer or heading into your relaxer treatment all hot and sweaty. You want to be cool and relaxed because if you go in all hot and sweaty, that further opens the pores of your scalp, which could lead to burning. You really don't want to burn your scalp. You want to treat your scalp with care and respect because if you burn it and burn it repeatedly, that can lead to hair loss. So number three is not knowing your hair. So let me give you an example. So the crown of my head is much coarser than the rest of my hair, whereas the hair at the nape of my neck is very fine. So I say this because when you're applying relaxer to your hair or your hairstylist is applying the relaxer, you want to make sure that you're leaving the relaxer on maybe a little longer where the hair is coarser and maybe a little less time where hair is finer in order to achieve a nice, even, relaxed look. If you don't know your hair type and you're just, applying relaxer cream to your hair willy-nilly and then washing it out without leaving it on the appropriate amount of time, you can under-process some parts and over-process others. So number four is not applying enough relaxer cream to your hair. If you're not applying enough relaxer to your hair, you may inadvertently under-process your hair, once again leading to an inconsistent, uneven look. I can't stress the importance of properly applying the relaxer to your hair so that it's processed evenly because you don't want all of these patches of hair that look different from each other. Not only is it unsightly, it can lead to breakage. So number five is a bit of a contentious point, and that is combing the relaxer through your hair. I don't think it's altogether a relaxer don't, but sometimes it's just not necessary. If you are using a fine-tooth comb to comb that relaxer through your hair, that can be a little rough on your hair. You want to baby your hair. You don't want to cause undue stress to your hair while it's being relaxed. And you don't want to be raking that comb against your scalp because that's conducive to burning. I'll admit, my hairstylist will sometimes comb the relaxer through my hair. And she does that usually if I have a ton of regrowth, and she also does it at the crown of my head where the hair's a bit thicker and it needs a little extra processing in order to achieve a consistent look. She knows what she's doing. If you're, let's say, a newbie to relaxing your hair and you're at home doing it yourself with a relaxer kit and you're a little too rough, again, that can lead to breakage and burning. So number six, try to stretch your relaxers. Try to leave extra time in between your relaxer treatments to give your hair a chance to grow. This is so beneficial because you want your hair to grow long enough so that you have a strong line of demarcation which will guide the application of your relaxer because you do not want to overlap relaxer on your already relaxed hair because that will lead to over-processing. So I'll admit, I wouldn't stretch. I would go to my hairstylist like clockwork every 8 weeks. But I admit, again, I didn't have a great routine for taking care of my new growth. So I was always paranoid that it would get tangled and then break. So I would just go and get a relaxer. But I found a few products that really worked for me for keeping my new growth soft and manageable. So one great product, for instance, is Luster's S-Curl Moisturizer. I'll link that in the description box for you guys. It hydrated my new growth. It kept it soft. and manageable, and I was able to stretch my hair to 3.5 months. I saw remarkable growth with my hair doing this. So the 7th relaxer don't is applying relaxer to already relaxed hair. So this goes hand in hand with stretching your hair so that you have that strong line of demarcation. If you are relaxing your hair too often, it is really hard to see where you should be applying relaxer to new growth because you just don't have a new growth to apply the relaxer to. And if you're consistently doing this, as your hair grows, you will see dryness and ultimately it will break. Overprocessing, I feel, is probably the #1 cause of relaxer damage. There are so many women I see walking around with relaxed hair that just looks so dry and dull, and I feel like sometimes you can just tell that they have been over-processing their hair. So the 8th relaxer don't is under-processing your hair. Unless you are texlaxing your hair, unless you know what you're doing with texlaxing, under-processing comes with its own set of disadvantages. Okay, so for instance, let's say that you have an under-processed section right here. So let's say my hair is out and you've got an under-processed section right here. As you're combing your hair, that's a point of weakness and it can break right there. So you want to make sure that you are processing your hair evenly. And, on top of all of that, you just want a uniform, again, I can't stress this enough, you just want a uniform look. You don't want, let's say, to have this long hair and it's like straight and frizzy and then straight again and then dry and it just looks crazy. So, texlaxing your hair is a really actually healthy process, and if you want to retain some nice texture in your hair, texlaxing is great, but you need to know what you're doing. So the 9th relaxer don't is not rinsing the relaxer out of your hair in the order that it was applied to your hair. So let's say you start applying relaxer at the front of your head and then you end at the nape. You want to rinse the relaxer cream out of your hair starting at the front and ending in the back. This will lead to a nice, even relaxer. It will cut down on burns and overprocessing. It's just sort of a common sense thing when you think about it. Okay, so the 10th relaxer don't is one that causes me so much stress, so much anxiety. It's not using a neutralizing shampoo to wash the relaxer cream out of your hair. It boggles my mind how many people write to me to say, oh wow, I didn't know what that little bottle of shampoo was for in the relaxer kit. It is imperative that you use a neutralizing shampoo to wash that relaxer cream out of your hair. The neutralizing shampoo stops the relaxer from working, therefore it prevents the overprocessing of your hair. I see those little bottles of neutralizing shampoo in those at-home relaxer kits. Okay, that's great, but I would go to Sally Beauty Supply or wherever and just get a big bottle of neutralizing shampoo. Use as much as you need to ensure that all of the relaxer is washed out of your hair. If you are using a regular shampoo, I'm not confident that you can efficiently and properly wash that relaxer cream out of your hair. It could lead to burns, again, dryness, and just plain old relaxer damage all over your hair. Neutralizing shampoo is a key step of the relaxer process. Do not skip this. So my 11th relaxer don't is stretching badly. So if you don't know how to take care of your new growth properly, then I'm all for going to the hair salon or relaxing at home so that you can keep your new growth manageable. You don't want to let that new growth get all tangled and gnarly because it could lead to breakage as you're trying to detangle it. So let's say you just don't have the time to detangle your new growth at home, then go get it relaxed. It's okay. You don't have to stretch for 3, 4, 5 months or a whole year. Do you. Do whatever it takes to make your life easier and to make your relaxed hair thrive. When I found hair products and techniques that allowed me to take care of my new growth properly by detangling it, keeping it nice and soft and manageable, I was able to stretch longer. I also carved out time into my daily routine to ensure that my new growth was moisturized and sealed just like the rest of my hair. But if you don't have the time to do that, again, it's okay to go and get your hair relaxed every 8 weeks or whatever to ensure that your hair thrives and stays healthy. So the 12th relaxer don't is something I harp on all of the time. You guys are probably sick of hearing me say this, but deep conditioning is key to ensuring your relaxed hair thrives. It keeps your new growth detangled and it hydrates the rest of your hair, especially your ends. If you want to see hair growth, it's imperative that you keep your hair soft and hydrated, and deep conditioning is one of the easiest ways to do that. If you don't care about length and you just want healthy hair, again, deep conditioning is so conducive to doing so. Whatever you do, make sure you're deep conditioning every single time you wash your hair. It was a game changer for me. So the last relaxer don't, and I know a lot of you may not agree with this, but go to a professional. If you don't know what you're doing at home with relaxer treatments, or you're unsure and you're not confident applying relaxer by yourself, I would find a hairstylist who's rock solid and who has a ton of experience with relaxers. Google hairstylists in your city who have experience with relaxers. Then go and book a consultation. Talk to her or him, find out how they relax, get references from this person, call the references, speak to them, do whatever you have to do, okay? Lastly, if that hairstylist has bad hair, get out of there. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous that you would go to a hairstylist with relaxed hair and her hair looks bad. I would book it out of there in 3 seconds flat. So I know there are people out there watching who don't have access to great hairstylists in their city. That's when I would look at online tutorials on, let's say, YouTube or the internet, and study, find out how to apply relaxers yourself in the best way possible without damaging your hair. Guys, by the way, I have started the Style Domination Relaxed Hair Society on Facebook. I am thrilled with the growth of this little Facebook group that could. I'll leave the link in the description box for you guys to join. I would love to have you. The discussions are so lively and so positive and helpful. It's a great resource for anybody out there who wants to relax their hair. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I love having all of you guys here as part of my community. All right, guys, until the next video, bye for now.